Hello, it's Midday Live from the News Hub here at Adesawe in Accra. My name is Pa Kwesi Asare, bringing you the very latest news from across the country. And coming up, teacher unions kick against agreements to cede 100 public schools to private individuals and groups. Also in the bulletin, Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari re-elected for a second term. And elsewhere, Pakistan says it has shot down 2 Indian Air Force jets in a major escalation of the Kashmir conflict. We've got the very latest details of these stories and more, including the very latest in entertainment and sports, all coming up in the next 1 hour. We begin with some politics and a leaked tape purported to be the voice of NDC National Chairman Samuel Ofosu Ampofo to have served notice at a meeting with party communicators to attack key personalities in the country, including the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and the chairman of the National Peace Council, Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante, has gone viral. The meeting is alleged to have taken place after the Ayawaso West Wuogon by-election. He's alleged to have said the party would form a security and intelligence unit in the party and appoint a national coordinator, regional, district and constituency executives to lead the unit into 2020, amongst others. All right, so staying on the story, the New Patriotic Party has been holding a press conference reacting to this very latest leaked tape. Let's go live to the NPP headquarters now and listen to the communications director of the party.
They did little in sensitizing the peoples, letting them know. Then people also think that, oh, as usual, will our vote count?
Adult suffrage. Indeed, everybody is entitled to vote. It's their attitude of intimidating the leadership of the EC and civil society going to lead to a situation where everybody feels entitled to vote. The rule of law. Listen to the chairman of the major political party planning to subvert the rule of law with murders, threats of assassination, and kidnapping. Above all, the protection and preservation of fundamental human rights and freedoms, unity and stability of our nation. I dare say, and arguably so, that until we get to the bottom of this matter, this nation is not stable. Until we get to the bottom of this matter, this nation is not safe. Until we get to the bottom of this matter, Ofosu Ampofo and his ilk, including Greedy Mahama, don't intend to allow peace to reign in our country so that the rule of law will bring prosperity to all of us as we so desire. They have found themselves out. The leadership of the NDC have found themselves out. They have exposed themselves to the nation. Ayawaso West Wuogon was built on nothing. The whole brouhaha about Ayawaso West Wuogon was built on nothing. And today, the deliberate, orchestrated lies and crafted events have crumbled into nothing. This is the worst case scenario of the good, the bad, and the ugly. What has happened is bad and ugly. Right-thinking members of the NDC ought to move fast and distance themselves from this shameful leadership. Those in the NDC who believe in an ideology must rise and demand resignations. All those culpable must account to the NDC first and to the nation so that they restore their moral right to participate in the decent politics of this country. As for we in the MPP, we will continue to espouse the rule of law as a basic pillar of our democracy. We shall follow the example of Prince Abudani I, our President of the Republic of Ghana, who has demonstrated distinguished leadership and supreme political will in meeting the real challenges of our time. And these are two major challenges. Corruption is an issue. Faced by that, the president has put enormous independent prosecutorial power in the hands of a public servant of known integrity. Nobody can manipulate him. Try influencing him, he will write to the media and put your name there. That is the person the president has chosen to put the future of corruption fighting in. And that person is a demonstration of real political will on the part of our president. Politically related violence is an issue. The president did not duck and hide. He accepted that the buck stops on his table. What did he do? He set up a public commission of inquiry which has grilled all the senior security chiefs of this country. His purpose: to bring politically related violence since independence in this country to an end once and for all, so that in future we can have debate instead of blows. The president is decisive. He's an intergenerational politician. His policy vision transcends elections. For elections, the president believes that going forward, ideas rather than violence and bullets should hold sway. Ladies and gentlemen, in lieu of a better time and occasion, we take the liberty to congratulate the newly elected leader of the NDC. We ask Greedy Mahama to reconsider his political philosophy of boot for boot and take clear and public steps to rid his party of the thuggery being embedded into its fabric. Ghana is hungry for progress, and he must assume the humility to divorce himself and his party from the appearance of deliberate and orchestrated lies and the use of politically related violence for his benefit. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, we ask all civil society organizations and citizens of this country to take advantage of the open and bold leadership offered by the President of the Republic on the matter of politically related violence. Please participate freely and frankly in the work of the Commission and join a healthy, lively policy dialogue towards election 2020. But lest we forget, to the extent that the party has exposed itself, the NDC is still not an alternative to decent politics. We believe the nation...
remarks there on what they plan to do moving forward into the 2020 elections. We're trying hard to get the side of the NDC, particularly we're trying to reach the communications officer of the NDC, Sami Jainfi, to get a response from him on this latest issue. As and when we do, we'll bring him to you on Midday Live. You're still watching Midday Live here on TV3. Let's do some more stories now. And teacher unions have kicked against an agreement with governments to cede 100 public schools to private individuals and groups to run a pilot project dubbed the Ghana Partnership Schools. The unions at a news conference in Accra indicated it will resist any attempts by the government to privatize and commercialize public education.
According to the aggrieved teacher unions, the implementation of the policy would also compromise the quality of education. The agreement, which was signed 2 years ago, seeks to introduce the Ghana Partnership Schools in the Management of Education program, under which 100 schools in the Ashanti, Northern, Central and Greater Accra regions have been selected to pilot from September.
The selection of the schools for the program is baffling because, you see, if you look at the criteria they've set, they are talking about schools that should not require any renovation, schools that should have a kindergarten through primary to JHS, and schools that should have a population of about 300. Where, my brothers and sisters, are we going to get such schools? In the urban centers.
According to the unions, $150 million has been allocated to cover a 3-year period.
Those of you who teach in secondary schools, do not think it is far from you, because there are people who do not believe that the teacher should superintend over administration in schools, and that the people who can administer schools are those who are not teachers. By so doing, people do not even respect the professionalism and the ability of the Ghanaian teacher.
So privatizing these schools is highly unthinkable. If we allow schools to be privatized, do you know the meaning Ghana has been what? Privatized.
We are calling on organized labor, if they are listening. It's not the issue of only teacher unions. It's an attack on the rights of workers of this country. And we must mobilize, we must organize, and we must resist this policy.
We have every right to go to court. We can go, but we are saying that is one of the options. We have many other options. Already we have served notice. If the Ministry of Education decides to go ahead with the implementation of this policy in September, we will marshal all our forces to resist the implementation.
They have also asked government to convene a meeting to resolve the simmering agitations on the teachers' front.
In a related development, the Ministry of Education has rejected claims by the aggrieved teachers that government is privatizing basic schools. Well, according to the ministry, it is rather collaborating with private international agencies to improve on education outcomes at the basics level. Well, the Public Relations Office of the Ministry of Education, Echo Vincent, interacted with our correspondent, Daniel Opoku, in Accra.
I don't think it is privatization because the teachers who are there are still going to be teachers in the various schools, because these are teachers that were posted by the Ghana Education Service. The head teachers are still going to be in the schools. These are teachers or head teachers that were posted by the Ghana Education Service. In fact, they are still going to be paid by the government, and so it cannot be privatization of our basic schools. The words that were used by the various teacher unions, for me, it's just an embellishment of the real words that are supposed to be used, and for me, it's just an exaggeration of this situation, putting, or as it were, giving some fear and panic to the Ghanaian people that teachers are going to lose their jobs and whatever. That is not going to be the case. The case is that teachers are still going to be in their schools, head teachers are still going to be in their schools, but there's going to be collaboration between the entities, that is the private entities, and the teachers who are already in the schools, to make sure that what is supposed to be done in the schools as far as management is concerned is being done. We are hoping that if Cabinet gives its approval, what it means is that the Ministry of Education will have to give a memo to Cabinet, and if Cabinet also approves that what we are presenting to them is something that they think that is also worthy of emulation, then it means that we are going to, as it were, implement it into the next academic year, which is September 2019-2020.
Arise, O Nigerians, that's the call you've got to obey. We go to Nigeria now, where the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, has been declared winner of the presidential elections held on February 23, 2019. Mr. Buhari, who is an incumbent president, defeated the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, to emerge winner in the keenly contested poll.
Muhammadu Buhari of the All Progressives Congress, having satisfied the requirements of the law and scored the highest number of votes, is hereby declared winner and is returned elected. Thank you.
The 76-year-old Buhari won in a total of 19 states, scoring the statutory 25% of total vote cast in those states, while his main challenger, Atiku Abubakar, won in 17 states and the Federal Capital Territory. A keenly contested election, heavily heightened security after a last-minute postponement. The opposition PDP has described the result as declared by INEC as flawed and not a true reflection of what has been recorded on the ground.
We in PDP are demanding for the stoppage of the collection of results by INEC. The People's Democratic Party demands that, in line with the commitment to conduct a transparent, free and fair election, an immediate halt to the ongoing collection of results by INEC until data from the smart card reader accreditation at the polling unit are made available to all parties in this election.
For hours, an incumbent president, Muhammadu Buhari, was stationed at his situational room, patiently monitoring result has been declared by INEC. For President Buhari, this is a time for Nigerians to get together for a common goal.
I think this is the most appropriate place where I should do this, and just the whole country. I thank the millions of Nigerians who voted to re-elect me as your president for the next 4 years. I am deeply humbled and profoundly grateful to you for letting me worthy of continuing to serve you for your peaceful conduct. Although Saturday's elections were relatively peaceful, troublemakers in a handful of states attempted to disrupt an otherwise orderly process. Security agencies will bring to justice all those arrested in the process.
There are indications the PDP will contest these results as declared by INEC. Komla Kluche, TV3 News, Accra.
All right, so you heard that report filed by my colleague Komala Kluche, who all throughout has been in Nigeria monitoring the elections, bringing you up to speed with latest developments in that region. Just to give you a clear indication of how the votes turned out in Nigeria, as you can see on our screen, we had a total of nearly 83 million people who are the total number of registered voters on the register. Now, out of this, we had just about 30 million people accredited to embark or engage in the voting process. And out of the 30 million people, 28 million were the total valid votes cast. No, I beg your pardon, total votes cast. In terms of the valid votes cast, we had just about 27 million of that. Now, in terms of the results, as you can see, the APC candidate, that's Muhammadu Buhari, who's incumbent president, polled a little over 15 million votes to emerge winner, followed closely by the PDP candidate, that's Mr. Atiku, who polled a little over 11 million. Now, between the two candidates, the two leading candidates, there was a difference of 4 million, a whopping 4 million votes, and that's quite interesting. So this was a resounding victory given to the incumbent president, Muhammadu Buhari, and of course the other four candidates, polled just a little over 97,000 for the ADC, a little over 54,000 also for the ADP. Very, very insignificant, if you ask me. So those are the results coming in from Nigeria, as being declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission. So you're still watching Midday Live here on TV3. Away from Nigeria, let's come back to Ghana, where the power distribution company officially takes over from the ECG as the electricity service provider after missing the February 1 deadline. Now, the takeover takes effect on Friday, the 1st of March 2019. The takeover will mark the beginning of the 20-year project of transforming the power distribution sector. Now, speaking at the handover ceremony, Senior Minister Yao Safo-Mafo noted that the power sector will witness a positive shift as supply of power will no longer be interrupted. Let's go to Parliament now, where some minority MPs are questioning the moral right of the President, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and his call for vigilante groups in the country to be disbanded. Well, according to the Member of Parliament for Karachi West, Helen Ntoso, the President has surrounded himself with armed vigilante persons, yet he is calling for such groups to be disbanded. She was contributing to the debate on the President's State of the Nation address. My colleague Evelyn Ting in this report.
Parliament has begun debates of the President's State of the Nation address that was delivered to the House last week, Thursday. Minister of Information, Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah, moved the motion.
Peace and security is not guaranteed by mere rhetoric that we're a peaceful people or we're a peaceful nation. It is guaranteed by making the necessary investments in staffing, in training, and in tooling our security agencies. Mr. Speaker, for many years, our security agencies have been left unattended to, leading to a gradual whittling down of their abilities and their professionalism.
Would the President purge the security agencies of all the vigilante group members that have been nicodemously recruited into the regular security services?
MP for Bulsa North, James Agalga, in his contribution mentioned The increase in allowance for UN peacekeepers was effected by the John Mahama administration, but the president mentioned it in his address as if it was something new. But the defense minister would not agree with him.
This is what the MPP manifesto says. After announcing the 1% dollar increase, it was rejected by the military personnel, and under pressure, Mahama was forced to increase it by another $4 to $35.
An announcement was made. The Minister of Defense never took action. The leadership of the Ghana Armed Forces there never took action. No single soldier under the watch of the previous administration up to December 31st, 2016 got any payment beyond $30 a day.
James Agalga also said the security situation in the country was undesirable, touching on the Ayawaso West war gun violence.
Findings of a commission of inquiry cannot form the basis of criminal prosecutions. Those who carried out the acts of violence at Ayawaso West war gun, Mr. Speaker, are known to the national security apparatus. And so our worry is that they ought to have been arrested. The criminal investigations ought to have been carried out.
On energy, the majority touted achievements made so far, but the minority indicated a solid foundation was laid by the NDC government, yet the MPP government has not been able to improve on it.
We are in this house. It is only the Parliament of Ghana that can ratify a petroleum agreement. Can anybody in this house tell me that we ratified a petroleum agreement in 2017? No. Was there a new agreement in 2017? No. So when the president says that his new agreement, when he just walked in, he discovered oil, quite frankly, it's laughable.
Mr. Speaker, you will recall that in this very house, sometime in 2010 or so, Mr. Speaker, there was an argument on the floor here with respect to the acquisition of oil block by ARCA.
The debate continues on Wednesday.
All right, you're still watching Midday Live here on TV3. Remember, we're streaming live on Facebook. You can also contribute to any of our top stories this hour by logging onto any of our social media pages on Facebook as well as on Twitter. Now, the Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Afriyie-Akoto, says it will cost the country some 2.5 million cedis to construct one dam under government's One Village, One Dam policy. Well, the minister was responding to questions on the floor of Parliament on Wednesday.
According to Dr. Owusu Afriyie-Akoto, government has so far identified 560 communities, out of which 113 have been selected for the construction of the dams. He was asked how much it will cost to construct a dam.
The smallest dam, I'm told, it will cost 2.5 million. Full stop.
What is the cost of a dugout so that the people in the villages will hear the actual price?
It depends upon the
ranking member on the Committee of Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, said the 2.5
We apologize for that technical difficulties. You're still watching Midday Live here on TV3. We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll bring you some more stories. All right, you're welcome back to Midday Live here on TV3. Welcome to the business news segment. Now, mobile money is making a difference in the lives of millions of people in developing countries. With a simple phone text, this cheap and efficient technology enables mobile banking customers to pay bills, receive wages, and receive or send money to family and friends. While nearly 2.5 billion people in the world don't have bank accounts, the majority of them do have access to a cell phone. Their worry, however, is that the charges on transactions is gradually killing them.
Cards and mobile payments are gradually pushing the use of cash downwards across the globe, with cash as a share of total payments declining from 92% in 2006 to 84% in 2016. The mobile money wallet is mainly used to transfer value from one person to another person for payments of goods and services such as buying airtime, paying for utility bills, salaries of workers, taxi fares, microcredit, savings and microinsurance. Mobile money volume of transactions registered a growth of 737.4% from 2012 to 2016. The number of mobile money customers as of 2016 was almost double the number of bank customers, according to the Bank of Ghana figures. Meet 28-year-old Emmanuel Agbegbo, a digitist at an embroidery company who now relies on mobile money payments.
This is where we receive money. Close to 70% of all our customers pay through mobile money. And then even people who are first timers also come and then they want to transact through mobile money. And it has been very helpful.
But not everyone is excited about using mobile for payments. Sandra Oyejiman, who deals in the sale of spare parts, is not at all enthused about the use of mobile for payments. She says the cost of sending or transferring money is unreasonable.
The way they deduct, maybe you are sending 1,000 Ghana to someone, they will take 10 cedi. At least they should do it in such a way that our money, they will not take a lot of money from the accounts.
Eric Akoto-Gashon is a senior product manager at Haptel, a company which provides SMS banking and an online payment processing platform, making it possible to buy and send money from mobile phones. Eric believes the time has come for more people to embrace electronic payments.
I believe it has to be a natural thing. People need to appreciate it and then switch to it. We can't coerce everybody by, let's say, taxing. We don't need to sort of put punitive measures in there. But with the right policy, people will opt for it.
The general concern amongst most users of mobile money is the charges. For mobile payment services to catch on in Ghana, there is a need for more merchants to come on board to bear most of these charges in order to increase usage. Despite the challenge of high charges on mobile payments transactions, there are also concerns the process involved is complicated and must be made simpler.
People are trying to promote tap and pay because it's simpler. You just tap and pay. But with what we have, getting prompt passwords, all of that, it's still a bit complex for some people. The simpler the payment is, the better for everybody.
All right, so away from that, the Ghana National Gas Company has assured it will meet the June deadline set for the Ghana Gas and Car Powership project at Sekondi in the Western region. The project, when completed, will add 470 megawatts of power to the national grid.
The front-end engineering and design feed for the Ghana Gas and Car Powership project at Sekondi in the Western region, which was started in April last year, has been completed. The 7-kilometer right-of-way for the pipelines from the Takoradi Regulatory and Metering Station to Ingresia in Sekondi has also been fully prepared. The Volta River Authority is currently working on pylons that will carry high-tension cables from the car powership to the substation. Works on the onshore terminal station, which will serve as an intermediary between the Takoradi Regulatory and Metering Station and the car powership, is at a foundation stage. The 7-kilometer onshore pipelines will pass through 5 communities, including Ingresia, Esipong, Lower and Upper Nchaban and Abuaze. Senior Manager for Community Relations and Corporate Social Responsibility for Ghana Gas, Joseph Ewonia, reveals the company will complete payment of all compensation by mid-March.
Based on the schedule that we have in front of us, where the pipeline is supposed to be laid by the end of March. Regarding the excavation work, in a month's time, we should see that the pipes are laid. With regards to the OTS, that is the onshore terminal station, and that is where most of the work is going to be done by Ghana Gas and all other partners. We have also begun an exercise with LVD on the second phase of the compensation that we believe by 2 weeks' time they should finish their work.
At an inspection tour of the project, Head of Communications for the Ghana Gas Limited, NSO Subempa, said government and Ghana Gas are committed to ensuring the project is completed in June.
I mean, we're going to be producing about 470 megawatts of electricity to augment what we have at the moment. It tells you that more power, no doomsaw, everything is going to be okay for the country's industrialization agenda, especially Western region, free zone enclaves, one district, one factory. We need power to do all these projects.
The relocation of the Kapa ship from Tema to Sekondi is in line with the government's plan to ensure the...
Well, that's all for the very latest in business news. Let's return to our earlier story about Parliament, where the Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Akoto, says it will cost the country some 2.5 million cedis to construct the one dam under government's one village, one dam policy. The minister was responding to questions on the floor of Parliament on Wednesday.
According to Dr. Owusu Akoto, government has so far identified 560 communities, out of which 113 have been selected for the construction of the dams. He was asked how much it will cost to construct a dam.
The smallest dam, I'm told, it will cost 2.5 million. Full stop.
What is the cost of a dugout so that the people in the villages will hear the actual price?
It depends upon the size.
Ranking member on the Committee of Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, said the 2.5 million cedis for a dam
Well, we apologize sincerely for that technical difficulty. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we've got the very latest in international news. We've also got sports coming up. Right, in entertainment news, ace comedian Kweku Sentime-Mensah, also known as KSM, wants the president to be decisive and deal with the vigilantism menace head-on. KSM thinks there's an urgent need for President Akufo-Addo to be firm and stamp his authority if the fight against vigilantism is to be won.
The baptism of the Ghana spirit.
The acclaimed comedian regrets the politicizing of every issue, noting it constitutes a major setback to the country's forward march.
Because Ghanaians always put a partisan interpretation on anything. But all it takes is for the president to be very strong, you know, and whether the people are coming from his party or the other party, take the decisions that are needed to take, you know, very, very forcefully.
KSM recognizes that setting up a commission to find a solution to the menace is the way to go. He underscored the need to be firm in dealing with such issues.
We are now in a democratic era, so everything has to go through the constitution, you know. So if I slap you right now, you can't do anything. You have to establish a commission of inquiry to find out whether I really slapped you. So that is a problem, you know. It's part of the democratic thing. Everything has to go through processes. But I think as Africans, we need a little bit of strictness.
Whilst delivering his State of the Nation address, the president called for a concerted dialogue to nip the menace in a bud.
MPP and NDC to come together to agree on appropriate measures to bring an end to this worrying and unacceptable phenomenon of vigilantism.
That notwithstanding, the celebrated satirist is of the view that the president has to stamp his feet and deal with the menace decisively.
I think that we haven't felt his foot, his stamp of authority. We haven't felt it, you know. We haven't felt his stamp of authority. But I know he has it. And maybe one day we'll push him for him to do it.
Now, for the third time running, Ghanaian saxophonist Steve Beddy will share the Stanbic Bank Jazz Festival stage. The instrumentalist will perform alongside global music icons, including UB40 Malian legend Salif Keita and Grammy Award-winning bassist Richard Bona, while Steve Beddy sees the opportunity to share stage with the superstars as a dream come true.
hat-trick for you, and how does it feel?
Well, it feels really good. The first and the second was good. The first, in the likes of Bob James, and then, Gerald Albright, Richard Bonner, and other people. But this time it's a whole different game. UB40, in fact, it really feels good. For me, it's more of like a boiling water for me. I can't just wait for the D-Day,
I know you're a legend in your own right, and certainly being on the same platform with these top stars comes with a lot of opportunities, collaborative opportunities, the fact that you can get to work with them and all that. And what's the plan like from your camp?
Well, I've been in touch with Richard Bonner, from the last time we met, and it's still ongoing. But these two greats, in addition, UB40 and Salif, I'm just going to try my luck, So I'm going to talk to them one-on-one as legends and as, my predecessors, and, be able to lay down some minds, what I'm saying? Yeah, lay down some things for the future. Because I would love to do something with UB40, and also I would love to do something with Salif Keita, and Richard Bonner as well.
All right, so that's how we conclude Midday Live. It came to you live from our studios here at Adesawe in Kandakra. Thanks very much for watching. For more news, you can log on to our website, 3news.com. My name is Pa Kwesi Asare.